Hey guys, this is Chef Katrina and welcome thank you guys for joining me on this live Q&A about blogging. Kind of put this together because I know a lot of you guys have been submitting in questions and asking a lot about blogging and building for your network marketing blog and so forth. So I wanted to do kind of a candid, eye-opening, basically live Q&A for you guys. So as you have questions, if there's anything that you guys want to know about blogging, how it can help your business, what are the benefits, anything along those lines, any technical questions along the way, um, this is your opportunity. Totally open and available to ask your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in first and foremost. A lot of people always seem to ask me, this is usually where the kicker begins, is people always ask me why blogging. It doesn't really work, kind of a thing. And I'm going to be totally honest. When I first got into blogging about 7 years ago, I want to say is when about 7 years ago, 6 years ago or so. So I had joined an MLM. My parents really blew out through my hot market to the extent. My warm market I went through fairly quickly and just was looking, I guess, for a cold market. Like I had to go into a cold market pretty quickly. So I went online because I figured, if anything, the internet would be a great place to get more exposure. There's a lot of people that are going online. They're searching for things up. I understood the benefits of online marketing. I just didn't know how to capitalize on it. I didn't know how to get in front of that audience. What did you do? So I picked up a couple of courses in the very beginning, and everything I picked up said one thing: you need to have a blog. You need to have a place where you can have your own voice, where you can talk as freely as you'd like, that you can, promote yourself as the lead person within your company or opportunity. Because if you can do that, if you can present yourself as the leader, as a go-to person to join for your MLM, you're going to actually attract leads to you, which kind of leads into that rejection-free recruiting. So like many of you guys, I get online, I start blogging, and we all start with our free blog platform. It's just how, we're conditioned. We don't have a lot of money. We've probably spent the bulk of our money joining an MLM. So the idea is, for what do you do now? Where do you go from here? So, of course, we jump onto these free blog platforms, which are fantastic. In all honesty, they really are. They're a great learning platform. You can't really break the system, so it's a great place to get your feet wet, kind of push all the buttons. And that's really what I did. I kind of pushed all the buttons to figure some stuff out. Well, the problem that I ran into was that as a network marketer, free blogging platforms really don't like you. If you ever read their rules and policies, what you'll tend to find is that they actually want nothing to do with us. If you start mentioning anything about your network marketing opportunity, you mention that you're making money, anything like that one, somebody spams you or says that you're spam, the next thing you know, you're off, right? You're done. So then there's no more free platform for you to use. You've lost all that content. Where do you go from there? And this happened to me. This is why I'm sharing this with you guys, because this actually happened to me. I was kicked off a free platform because I was talking about multi-level marketing. So I quickly had to stumble off and get into the world of what a self-hosting blog was. Doing some research, guys, you can find a lot of this on like YouTube and so forth, like how to set up your self-hosted site. I mean, that's the easy part. Really, it is. Grab a domain name, grab a hosting site, and get online, and you're good to go, right? Then the questions came. What do you do now? How do you write content? How do you generate a lead? All the little things that we don't know when we start building our blogs online. So I bought into a course, and I can't even remember what it is, and I really wish I could. I can't remember what it is. But I got into a course, I think it was like $500-600 is what I spent, and it was recommended to me, said that they're going to teach you everything you ever need to know about blogging, which they did. I actually learned a lot about like keyword research, how to find your audience. What I didn't find was my passion. I spent a lot of money in building this blog around a topic that I really, truly hated. I thought I would love it because it had to do with my MLM, but in reality it did not. So getting into this training was fantastic, But again, it left out a lot of the key points. Is what do you do with an MLM blog? How do you get people, to get their eyeballs on what you have to offer? Because that's all we want. We just want people to join us, right? It's as simple as that. Just call me up, tell me you want to join me in my opportunity, and let's get you started. But it doesn't happen that way because most of us get online and we're not taught how to blog. We're not taught how to go after our targeted market. We're not taught how to find our avatar. We're not taught how to use keyword tools. There are so many things that we're not shown, but we just assume that we should have this coming to us because we've, a network marketer. Everybody should want to know what we have. Everybody should join what we do. I mean, we're all the best companies out there, and it's true. I'm not going to deny there are some phenomenal network marketing companies out there. Guys, most of these network marketing companies wouldn't exist if they weren't phenomenal. That's the end of the day, period, right? So if you're looking to build your MLM blog, then you've got to put it out there that you're in your MLM. You've got to put it out there what products you have, what services you're providing, and you also have to make it educational for people. So what are your questions you guys have around blogging? I mean, you guys have the Q&A, it's open for you guys. This is all about you guys, so whatever questions you have, but what are you looking for? What is your biggest question, your biggest concern about your MLM blog? Because there's a lot that goes on with the blog. You definitely are going to need some lead capture forms on your blog. You're going to need a join me page on your blog so people know how to join you and find out more about your MLM opportunity. You're going to need a lead generation tool, some way to capture email addresses. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. And the reality is it's not easy. Blogging is not a quick way to build your business, and I'm not going to lie about that at all. Honesty is what I'm going to give to you guys, but here's the reality. If you commit to blogging, and by committing I mean you're actually going to commit to blogging, whether you're writing once a week, twice a week, or 3 times a week, but you've got to do something weekly with your blog. By no means don't put up a blog and then neglect it. Like, that's the worst thing you can do, because then you just don't have any consistency, and then people don't know that you're out there. And then if you stop blogging like I've done, and you don't write about anything, you kind of fall off the map. So you do this really great job of building up this huge following, and then say after 30 days you stop writing content. Well, that's kind of rude for your following. They said they liked your stuff. They got on your email list. They are following you like a mad fiend. They're stalking you on social media, right? And you didn't do anything with it. So don't be one of those rude people. I've seen them. I was once one of them. That's why I tell you I've seen them, because I actually look in the mirror and I can tell you I've seen them. But don't be rude. If you're going to do blogging, get it in your mindset, guys, that blogging is not about you. It's about your brand. It's about your following. It's about who you're helping, who you're providing information to. So look at it from that point of view. One thing I always tell myself every morning is that, my audience right now is looking for a piece. They're looking for a little help. They have a question they have to ask. I mean, I get questions all the time, and most of the times I turn these questions into blog posts. Because instead of answering over and over again, I can just refer people back to blog posts, and that makes it really easy, right? So if you have people that are asking about your MLM, so say you get the same question over and over again, well, what's really cool, if someone asks you that question, you can say, hold on, I actually have a blog post that I wrote about this I think is going to answer this question really well for you, especially if you're getting context like this through social media and so forth. And then you can just go ahead and contact them and send them the link to that blog post. So a lot of the time your blog does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. You're kind of like leveraging what you've done previously in the past to successfully monetize and utilize your blog. I know one of the questions I get a lot is, have you actually been able to generate leads with your blog? And that's actually a great question, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. Yes, I have generated probably close to 600 leads now with just my blog. So my blog is my primary lead source. When people opt into my list, they absolutely come through my blog. Whether they're for affiliate links or for whatever they're coming onto, they do come onto my blog. Out of those that have turned it into distributors with my MLM, actually most of those, on all honesty, have come from blog posts that I've done and video that I've created with them. So there's the video that sits on YouTube and then the video that sits on my blog post. So I guess you can say they come from the same place, but the reality is I have a lot of people that find me on YouTube, come to my site and then search for me and get that contact information. And the last 3 distributors that have joined me in my company have actually come off of video that I have done in that information that I've shared on my blog post. So yes, it is feasible. Do I probably need to be a little more aggressive with that? Sure. Have I been a little lazy about creating that content about my MLM? Yeah. I will admit I haven't really been pushing my MLM on people. So I'm going to tell you that the people that have found me are actually coming off of content that I probably created about a year ago or so. That's how they're finding me. So the content stays out there forever. And that's one of the cool things about blogging is that once you create a post, so if you have a post about a product, your service, your opportunity, maybe the compensation plan, you're doing a comparison, you're doing an us versus them, whatever you're doing on your blog to get that information out there, that stays out there for years, right? As long as you own the domain name, that content stays. So think of it from that perspective. Instead of paying for all this advertising that you're doing, and you can spend hundreds. Oh my gosh, you can probably spend thousands. I know I've spent more than I should have on Facebook marketing. But my biggest return has honestly been through my blog. And my blog is there's nothing for really the maintenance of my blog. I mean, it cost me, I think, $75 a year for my host and my domain to maintain my blog. It's cheaper for if you extend, like if you're doing it for 3 or 4 years or whatever, it does get cheaper. So fairly inexpensive way to build your business in terms of marketing. And that's one thing I think that really drew me to this, is that it's a long-term effect for a very small investment. And once you create it once, it's out there forever. So about $70 to get my hosting site set up, and then I spend about another $30 on my email autoresponder. And this is what I recommend for you guys to get. You should be building your list. And one of the key ingredients you need for building your list is to have an autoresponder. There's some great ones out there. I go with Aweber. That's just the one that I go with. It's been the easiest to use, and it's really inexpensive, I think, in terms of the return on investment. I mean, for every month that I'm in there, if it costs me $30, I'm making that back just through leads and affiliate commissions that I'm making elsewhere on my blog. So, and that's another thing I recommend. You can be promoting your MLM. Absolutely, without a doubt, you should be doing that, but you should also probably find a good affiliate product that either coincides with what you're training on your site, or something that kind of, goes along that premise, because you will find that you will get clicks on your blog, especially if you're creating some really good content, that it's going to be the best thing for you. So, make sure you have a secondary source on there, some other affiliate product that's hanging out on there. So like for me, if you guys go to my blog, you will find that there is affiliate links for lead generations, like a company that I'm associated with. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there when we talk about building your business online and getting your blog out there and getting it seen by the people that want to. So again, this is an open question for you guys. So I know I'm kind of just sharing my story here. So what kind of, I mean, we've answered some great questions so far, just some things that people have asked me. So what other questions do you guys have about blogging? What is it that you're looking for in your blog? Like, what are some of the technical issues that you're struggling with? I usually do like my blogging students, like I have a blogging course that I teach or that my students go through. And in that they, every week we get together and there's always some new question. There's always something that they've never seen before or they're just seeing again for the first time because like with anything, blogging has its phases. You go through it once and you kind of understand blogging, and then you kind of go through the training a second time and you'll have aha moments. You're like, oh, okay, so that's what you need to have on a blog, or that's what you were talking about back then. Because if you're new to blogging and you've never seen or heard half of the terminology and phrases that we talk to you guys about, you're gonna get a bit lost. I'm not gonna lie. Words like widgets and plugins and avatars and it gets confusing. I'm not gonna disagree with that. But if you decide to stick with this, if you decide to make blogging your primary medium to building your business, you're gonna have a lot of success. Even crappy blog posts that I thought were horrible that I've written. I mean, I'm coming up on 2 years on a blog post that's still ranked #1 in the Google search engines. I mean, it's ridiculous. But we're talking a content that's 2 years old. So if you're asking, is this a good way to build your business? Yeah, yeah, it is. This is a great way to build your business. This is the money place. I have yet to meet a successful network marketer online, and I've met quite a few, and they will tell me that their biggest success, their biggest strength was their blog, because you can send all your traffic to it. You can send traffic for, your team training can be taking place on your blog site, right? Your product knowledge can take place on your blog site. So like a great way, so if you're doing a product, all right, so say you're putting a product out there. I'm just going to grab my note real quick on this one. So say you're putting a product out there that you want to share with people. A great way to do this would be to do an us versus them. So maybe you've got a product out there, you're doing an us versus them, and then having some testimonials underneath of it. So what are some good testimonials that would work for that particular blog post? I'm sure if you guys are in a company and you've got a product, I'm sure there's got to be a couple of testimonials. And whatever you do, make sure you put your disclaimers out there. So if you need disclaimers, if you need to have anything out there, make sure you're compliant with your MLM. By all means, get to know your compliance. They are there for you. They're not against you. They're not trying to hurt you. They're actually trying to protect the company's best interest and your paycheck. Okay? At the end of the day, if your company gets in trouble with any legal parts, you don't get paid. So think of compliance as basically protecting your paycheck. Okay? That's really what you want to do. You want to protect your paycheck. Okay? So protect your paycheck, work with compliance, make sure you have all the right rules and regulations on what you need for your blog, for products or services. But you guys can do training on your compensation plan if you want to. There is just so many things you can do with your blog. Oh, Rockstar tips, that's a good one. We were talking about that the other day. Rockstar tips, like what do you suggest? What's good team training? What are some of the best methods, best ways to build your business online? Things of that nature. So this really can come open up to you guys and really do whatever you want with it. But blogging has so many features to it. And that's really what I want you guys to get out of this is what is it that you guys want to do with your blog? Back to square one, what do you want to do with your blog? What's your purpose? What do you want to achieve? What do you hope to accomplish? Who do you want to talk to? Who's your ideal prospect? Once you guys develop an avatar is really important. So know who you're talking to, know who your audience is, knowing what voice you want to give yourself. I mean, if you like doing video and you guys, you love to do, like me, video is for me so much faster. Sometimes it's just easier and quicker to get a message across or show something what they do need to do with the video. So video is real simple to do. So if you like doing video, something like this is real easy enough. You can do a Google Hangout. You can copy and embed the code right into your website. And then you can just do a video blog. You don't even have to write. Oh my goodness, you don't even have to write for your blog. You can literally just create video blogs. So this would be a video that I would be doing for my blog. I can throw this on my blog. I can have people watch it. If you're doing a video blog, here's a tip though. Keep the content short. I recommend probably keeping it to under like 5 minutes, 10 minutes max for training purposes, especially if you put on your blog as something you want people outside of your company to read. So if you're looking for leads or so forth, 10 minutes max, short, sweet, to the point is always good. But make it engaging, have a little personality, laugh a little, throw things up in the air, throw a knife. I don't know, I'm just kidding. But something of that nature for your video. So video blogging is really easy to do. I know another one. I have a guy that does he does his blog, but he does podcasting. So he creates his podcast and he hosts it right onto his blog, so that you can watch it live stream on his blog or listen to it live stream on his blog. And then it also goes over to iTunes. So iTunes has a pretty huge following for podcasts right now. And so beyond just having to write with your blog, you actually have the ability as a network marketer or as a blogger to utilize other forms of blogging. It doesn't have to be all in written form. Like you don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be an excellent writer to start blogging. If there's a will, there's a way. If you want to learn how to blog and you want different formats, you can do that one. Another question that I get asked a lot is, well, how long does a blog post have to be? The reality is that it's 300 words is what we'd like to see. It's only a couple of paragraphs, truly. It's nothing crazy. So 300 words minimum. If you want good copy, if you want to be found by the search engines, I would look at doing anywhere over 600 to 700 words. Because with that, you're actually writing really good content. In Google and Bing and all the search engines, they want content. They want relevant content. They want content that people are searching for. They want content that, that is valuable to people. So that goes back again to Keyword Planner and doing research about knowing your audience and what is your audience going online searching for. What is their biggest pain? What is their struggle? And how is your blog post answering those questions for your demographic? Because once you get that voice, once you're there for your readers, blogging gets a lot easier, and it does develop its own personality. Mine's taken a while, actually. I would have to say, my blog voice really has, I guess, developed more this year than it did last year. And for those that don't know, last year is really, I'd been blogging on and off for, like I said, for 7 years in the very beginning. But I really committed to my blogging last year, back in June. So really for the last year have I been blogging, as to the point of like finding my voice and so forth. And I'll have to tell you guys, it's been a progress. It's been something that I've had to learn. I still wouldn't say I know it all about blogging. I don't think I ever will. There's so many different facets to this wonderful world of online marketing. But I do know with my blog, I'm getting a stronger voice. I've developed who my avatar is. I've got a good following that's starting to grow, and that's just exactly what it is. You're not going to master this overnight. Give yourself 6 months, even 12 months, to really get good at this. And look at it this way. If you were to go in for a job right now and apply for a job, do you learn everything about your position in one day? No, probably not. So I'll take myself as an example. If I walk into a kitchen, I know how to cook. That's a given, right? I've been a chef for years, so I know how to cook. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to know the menu, that I'm going to know exactly what procedures they have in place, what I need to do. That's, that's the way they do certain things, because every kitchen's a little different, just as every blog's a little different. So it's not so much about what I know, it's about what I've got to learn to better suit the environment around me. And you don't pick it up in the first month, not even the first 2 months. By 3 months, maybe 6 months, I would say that you start getting a good handle on what you're going to need to do for your blog. So I'm going back to blogging again. So 6 months, if you're staying consistent on the ball and you have a consistent plan of action, whether you're blogging once a week, like I said, twice a week, 3 times a week, or every single day, completely up to you. But I honestly, guys, if you want to see the most success, I can give you the BS way and say, blog once a month, you'll be fine. Your results are going to be so freaking dismal, it's not even funny. I would almost tell you not to blog if you're only going to be blogging once a month. It doesn't suit you at all to even go that route. That's like the lazy BS way of building. I mean, honestly, you might as well just find something else to do if you can't sit here and write a blog post. But if you're writing at least once a week, minimum, if you can commit, I don't care what day it is, but commit to your readers. Commit to your following. Commit to the people that are looking for your information that you're going to blog at least once a week. If you can do once a week, you're in a good place. Right? That would actually be my preferred recommendation for anybody that gets started with blogging. Give yourself at least a blog a week. It should take you about 22 to 30 minutes to create a blog post. Think about it this way. If you were to create a blog post today, right? And it was so well written and so well searched that you published it, and organically it began to start ranking, right? It got onto the first page of Google. Okay? So that 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes that you spent creating one blog post for that one day out of that whole 7 days out of the weeks, maybe you have to give up a TV show. Oh my gosh, maybe you have to turn off a TV for one day. But that one blog post starts getting you one lead a day. One lead. So you spent 40 minutes on a Sunday afternoon, not watching television, but putting together and building your business. And you put together a great blog post that generated you one lead a day. That for 1 year, that's 365 leads that you got for one day, less than an hour, 40 minutes tops to write a blog post. Learn the SEO piece, learn all that stuff, and it does all the work for you. It's extremely lazy if you think about it. You've created one post. It does the work of 1,000 people. It didn't cost you anything but 40 minutes of your time. You didn't put out any money to do this, and you're getting leads, and you're probably making some money off of those leads. You're calling these people back. Maybe they're joining you in your MLM. But that's powerful, guys. That's what blogging can do. And so many people look at it and they just go, well, I don't have anything to write about. Are you breathing? Because I'll tell you this. If you get asked questions about your MLM, those are questions you can answer on a blog post, right? If you get questions about anything that you do online, if you're teaching and training, like I get questions about blogging, so I tend to write a lot about blogging. And then occasionally, once a week I'll throw in, I write almost every day. I think Sundays are the only days that I take off unless I have something really important to say, then I'll throw out another blog post on Sunday. But I also make sure that I mention my MLM at least once a week. So if I put out 5 days of amazing content helping other people, and on the 6th day I write about my MLM, I'm just sliding that in there. It just seems really natural to people because I'm talking about both my MLM, I'm also giving them advice and help. So when they're ready and they decide they want to join my team because they see the value, then that is just a natural progression of what people see on your blog. Just making sense to everybody's like, are you guys getting this? Say yes if you're getting this. Like, I'm not on here just to waste your time. I'm really hoping that you guys are getting value out of this, and that this is something that's, setting light bulbs off for you. Because ultimately, this is about you and getting you and creating your success. For those that don't know, I do have a blogging course called bloggingingredients.com. This is my blogging course that I've created for you guys. And the reason for this, there's actually a really good reason for this. I bought a lot of blogging courses. And I watched and learned from a lot of top marketers out there, but I was always a little frustrated because they kept telling me how they would go out and have everyone else build everything for them. And maybe you're like me in the beginning, you didn't have a lot of money, so you kind of had to do this like a DIY, do it yourself kind of a take on blogging. So maybe some of the technical questions weren't getting answered because they had outsourced everything, so they don't know a lot of the little details. And coming from a chef's background, I think the details are some of the most important aspects of blogging, right? It's the details of the keywords, it's the details of building a widget, it's the details of getting your autoresponder set up, it's the details of getting your blog to look right, it's the details of what content you write on your blog. I mean, all this for me is details, but a lot of times they don't tell you this, which I found very annoying and frustrating because all of a sudden I would have to stop what I was doing and then go find somebody else to answer this question for me, and it just drove me absolutely insane. So, and some of the information that I got was junk. It wasn't relevant, and some of it was really good. So I thought to myself, well, why not put together the best of all the training that I've ever gotten? Let's pull out what's really important instead of all this junk that's there, and then let's throw some coaching around that so that it's included into the package so that you don't feel like you're left out on your own trying to figure this out like I did for years. But you have a source. You have somebody go and ask questions to, and that's really how Blogging Ingredients came around for me. Is like I wanted to give you guys the best training of how to build your blog plus the marketing piece behind it. I also wanted to make sure you had access to ask questions and get your blog reviewed on a weekly basis. So that was the live mastermind. And then one of my other biggest frustrations with a lot of the courses that I bought was that sometimes these courses, the training was like an hour long, right? And when you're looking at technical pieces, like, how does this work and break down, I hated having to go back through this training to find that one little nugget of information that I needed at that moment. I didn't want to waste an hour watching this all over again. I watched it once for now. I don't want to watch it again. So my purpose with my training was to make it into bite-sized nuggets. So there is really no training that's longer than, it's like 5 to 7 minutes, I think, is my blog training. There's nothing really over that length of time because I have a short attention span, and you probably do too. And I wanted to make it easy for you to reference. I wanted to give you guys a way to go back into the course and find the information you're looking for. And if it wasn't inside the course and you needed the question answered, then come to the Wednesday night training and hang out with me and the mastermind team and all other bloggers, because a lot of times the questions that you have is the same questions other bloggers have inside of there, and then they need to see it for the first time too, or the second time, or even the third time. I don't mind repeating myself. I've done that a lot over the past year. But not only is it good for my students and my clients, but it's also good for me because it reminds even myself what I need to do for my blog. And I guess that's where my strength has gotten, is because in teaching you guys what you need to do for your blog to become successful, you're learning exactly what it means to be successful. It's a process. I'm still learning. I am absolutely, without a doubt, still learning. And I don't think I'll ever stop learning this awesome and amazing world of blogging and marketing and SEO and everything else. It's what we do. So I'm going to stop right now, guys, because I forgot to turn on my light in my room. It's getting dark outside, and I just wondered if you guys have any other questions about blogging that I can answer for you guys tonight. Anything that's out there, I'm just throwing it out there. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. This is not one of them. So let me know if you have any questions. And if you don't, then thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on this one. And I really do look forward to seeing you guys here again when we can talk a little bit more about blogging, and you guys can ask some really good questions, and we can make this as interactive as you guys would like. But this is just my way of paying it forward for all the education and training that I'm getting. And I'm just here for you guys to help make this all about you and provide any kind of help and service that I can to empower you to create a more successful and a more profitable and a better lead generation type of blog. So since I don't see any questions popping up from you guys, I want to thank you guys again for joining me this evening, this early evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. And like I said, guys, we're gonna wrap this up a little bit early. And hopefully you'll join me again on my next hangout that I do for you guys and answering any other questions you have about blogging. So thanks, guys, for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you on another blog training. Bye, guys.